All right, Mr. G here. Let's get started. This is our second melody in the major mode. By now, you should be more familiar with laws of skipping and stepping, first note, last note, etc. We have another 9-bar phrase, but this time it's going to be in a major key, major scale, if you will, C major scale. And the last note is a C. The first note is a C. We're starting and ending on a C. I've decided to approach the last note from a half step below. And then from that point on, it's as before. The next to the last note, this B. The principle we've talked about before is you can approach that B, that next to the last note, from a third above, a D, to a third below, a G, and any note in between. I could go, and that would be totally acceptable. I decided I wanted to do a D. From this point on, it's skipping and stepping. So let's go back to the beginning and see what we got here. We got C. We skipped down to a G. Now, some books, you'll hear the term skipping and leaping. Some people use the terms interchangeably. I primarily do that. But it is probably more accurate to have two separate phrases to describe two separate things. Leaping is anything over a third. Skipping is just a third. You're skipping a note. You're going from like a C maybe to an A. You're skipping B. So anything greater than a third is a leap. A third is merely a skip. I find myself slipping back and forth between the two. Just know that some folks or professors you might talk to do use two separate terms to mean two separate things. So we leapt down to a G. We stepped up. Leap down, step up. We leap up to an F, so we step down from the F to an E. We step down to the D, we skipped down to the B, and then stepped up to the C. So there's our melody. Let's listen to it. All right, couple things here, a couple principles to consider. One of the books I've talked about, and I can't remember which one I get this reference from at the moment. I'll go dig it up. It says that a good melody, a good phrase, should have a high peak and a low peak, and those notes shouldn't be repeated. Well, you notice my low note's a G, and you don't see a G anywhere else in this melody. My high note is an F. And you don't see that note repeated anywhere else in the melody. So we have a valley and a peak. And this also has a very nice contour to it. You see how it goes down and back up and then back down again and back up to the C. All right, I have to pop in here. I feel it's about time to clue you in a few things. I've kept the rules and principles of what we've been discussing to a minimum. My primary purpose in that, again, as I stated before, is I don't want to spend so much time on the academic side. It's important. You got to understand stuff. And when you get to college, if those of you are going to go into college and study music at a higher level, you're going to get into what we call the deep weeds with the rules. But I try to keep the rules to just those rules that will allow you to start to write music. Again, my goal is not to create music nerds, but to find people who can write, to help people write music. Great music always preceded music theory. Music theory is merely an analyst's response to hearing good music and trying to figure out what makes music good. And they've come up with a set of principles that, generally speaking, will guide you. Now, as I said, I try to keep them to a minimum. The law of skipping and stepping. Skip up, step down. Skip down, step up. How to approach the last note. How to approach the next to the last note. Having a peak, having a valley. These basic elements of a melodic phrase. And that's what I want you to get in the process of writing. Now, what happens with me is that I always start writing a new piece of music pretty much the way I've been demonstrating here in these lessons. Especially if I'm just writing a piece of music and I have no idea where the music's going to go. It's almost like I'm setting out on an adventure. I don't know what the music's going to sound like before I'm done with it. And to me, it's somewhere along the process of writing our first melody, cantus firma, writing a harmony part, the second voice, and start adding third voice and fourth voice. All of a sudden, something kicks into gear and something starts to take shape for me in this music that I'm composing. To me, it's like Christmas. I'm opening a present every time I start with a new melody, like this melody we just wrote. I'm excited. I can't wait to see what's going to come from this. And I hope that you start to get a measure of excitement as you're writing music as well. Now, again, we don't learn rules so we can write great music, but you got to start somewhere. You still have to understand some basic principles. And there's a lot more than what I've showed you here. But this is enough to get you started. I've given you a basic minor mode. I've given you a basic major mode. Group notes, or scale notes, if you want to call them that, to work from. And I'm hoping that you're starting to experiment on your own. Life is about to get a little bit more exciting when we start adding our second parts and our third parts and our fourth parts. That's where we're going to be going next. I'm going to be developing this melody that we just wrote, adding a second part to it, and then I'm going to add a third and a fourth part, and we're going to stick with this present melody and develop it into something which I hope you will find to be pretty stinking awesome. I hope you're enjoying these lessons, and I hope you're getting something from them. And I look forward to hearing from you if you have any question whatsoever. Here's my email address, ffog@me.com. And as it grows, you're going to see my website, emergingcomposers.com, being developed. I'll be doing a blog there that will walk alongside these lessons and give more information. There will be some more exciting information coming up soon about an actual online composing course that'll be utilizing some of these videos, but there'll be more worksheets, more helps, more videos, and a lot more material to work from. All right? Well, God bless you. Have a wonderful day. Look forward to hearing from you soon. Mr. G out. Bye-bye.